for thousands of people and families across Charleston and Berkeley counties, loved ones of crime victims having to wait half a decade for the suspect to be held accountable, or on the flip side, being wrongly accused and jailed for years as you wait to clear your name. Prosecutors admit our court system is notorious for moving at a glacial pace, but there could be good news. The top prosecutor says systemic changes are on the way to speed up the court process. Joining me now, Live 5 investigative reporters Emily Johnson and Katie Kamen. So I'm so excited to hear about your report. So Katie, let's start with you. We'll get to the potential solution in just a moment, but you've been reporting on the court system for years now. So give us some context about this problem.
Yeah, that's right. And so the backlog of court cases has been plaguing the Ninth Circuit since before I started here. The Ninth Circuit, of course, is Charleston and Berkeley counties. Now, the problem did exist well before COVID, but the pandemic really brought the court system grinding to a halt, and that momentum hasn't picked up even now.
And Emily, you had a chance to talk with a family who has experienced this firsthand. They've been waiting almost 3 years now for their day in court.
Yes, and well, the Dantzler family is this family who unfortunately lost 3 of their loved ones on a Mother's Day crash, and they've been vocal about their frustrations over how long this process has taken for their case to go to trial. Now, it's emotional and challenging to have this case hovering over them.
It's hard because, I mean, you know, you don't start even healing until justice has been served, and this is going on like 3 years. I mean, and there's no justice.
It was on May 8th, 2022, when Charleston County Deputy Emily Pelletier is accused of running a stop sign on Highway 17, hitting a car with Stephanie Dantzler, Shanice, and Miranda Dantzler-Williams inside. The mother and her 2 daughters were killed. Pelletier, the deputy accused of causing the crash, remains out on bond without a set trial date.
It don't take a rocket scientist to figure out what's going on, because we see it as a slap in the face. I mean, you don't never see it to happen to you, you know, so we see it over and over.
The Dantzlers say when other high-profile violent crimes go to court before them, it leaves them with an open wound as they still work to process the loss of their family members.
It's not nothing they got to put together. This is an open and closed case. This is not nothing to fight. I mean,
3 years later, they are left with frustrations and no answers.
That is traumatizing to this family in itself, that they have to endure this because of the total disregard for the law of a law enforcement officer.
Maybe we need a family to change the system in Charleston County, because it needs to be changed.
Of course, what the Dantzlers are facing and the time it's taking for their case to go to trial isn't unique. Between Charleston and Berkeley counties, more than 20,000 cases are currently pending, and 8,000 of those cases have been open for about a year and a half or longer. And it's not just a problem unique to the Lowcountry. The 13th Circuit, that includes Greenville and Pickens County, has over 25,000 open cases, with nearly 6,000 open for 545 days or more. Scarlett Wilson has held the responsibility of Ninth Circuit solicitor since 2008 and says over the years, a number of factors have played into the mountain of cases.
The judges really got put in a bad situation when they got handed the responsibility of managing a docket with no additional resources. And they were in that position in sort of a no man's land for a long time.
But since John Kittredge was elected as the South Carolina Chief Justice in 2024, Wilson says he's openly communicating with the Ninth Circuit and is determined to help bring in any needed resources.
Our goal is to fill up every docket and make sure that something is moving every court week, whether it's filled up with guilty pleas when we have non-jury or trials when we have trials. And our goal is, of course, to focus on the violent crimes first and then to back those cases up with the less serious cases, but all of the cases matter.
But with more open communication between the Ninth Circuit and state, additional judges, more efficient scheduling, and prosecutors becoming more involved in actually setting the docket could move that backlog along.
We've made great strides. Berkeley County in particular has really worked hard and done a good job of digging out from the backlog. It's always part of the job, though. You're never going to finish. I'm never going to leave this office and say my work here is done. We're done. We're out of work.
Well, ladies, the solicitor seems optimistic about these changes, but how are the families of the victims feeling?
Well, and it's obviously going to depend on the family. Some of these families are feeling really jaded after all of the years that they've had to wait for their case to go to court. So they're kind of indifferent about the specific changes that are proposed, and they're really only focused on results, whether this new system means they can actually be in a courtroom in downtown Charleston soon.
Very skeptical.
Yeah.
I mean, because we've been waiting all this time. Who would have thought it would take, upwards of 6 to 7 years?
Just give us a date. We will be there.
At first, things moved quickly. The shooting, the drive to the hospital, Eston Shoaf taking his last breaths. But now the process drags on for Shoaf's family as they wait for the man accused of his murder, Kenneth Seguenza, to go to trial 6 years and 2 months after Shoaf's death.
We're in a stalemate. We can't make a
business.
decision of what to do next because we've got this issue
Hanging over our neck.
next.
A few days before Christmas in 2018, court documents allege Shoaf was driving down Alton Street in North Charleston and stopped for a tractor blocking the road. He got out of his truck and argued with Seguenza, trying to get him to move the tractor. Authorities say Seguenza then shot Shoaf in the back.
And followed the ambulance. And when they brought him through was the last time I ever saw him.
Till the pictures in the courtroom.
Yeah.
But in the years that the family's been waiting, court records show Seguenza was arrested 3 more times in 3 different counties. That's compounded the family's frustrations.
Are you kidding me? Like, how much more do you want to put us through?
Prosecutors say the case can't move forward until the judge, Deidre Jefferson, files her decision on the defense's argument that Seguenza shot Shoaf in self-defense. That hearing was more than 7 months ago, and Jefferson has not responded to our questions. So the family waits for trial, waits for closure, and waits to see if the structural changes to the court system will actually help.
I just want it done. And then we can try to move on.
So, Katie and Emily, the families certainly are wanting to see change, but when does the solicitor expect the impact to really be evident?
Well, we can likely expect a more accurate picture of whether these changes are working, hopefully by the summertime.
And when we sat down with her, this is exactly what she had to say.
And I'm hoping from January to July, we're going to see room on our dockets to add things. Because we were having to turn people away who were in jail who said, I'm ready to accept responsibility. I'm ready to come in and plead guilty. Well, we don't have room for you to come in this week, and you're sitting in jail. It shouldn't be like that.
The next murder trial scheduled in Charleston County is set to begin on March 3rd, and that murder happened all the way back in October of 2019.
Well, Katie and Emily, this is certainly very good information, and thank you both so much for bringing this to our attention and making this available to our viewers. Now, for those of you who want the opportunity to read this again on your own, to hear this full report, you'll find it on our website at live5news.com.
Accuracy.
But it's a